Hey everybody, Nathan here, and today, instead of doing a movie review or having a geek subject, I'm going to talk about the Winter Olympics and why they are the most amazing sporting event in the world, why I love them, this is my tribute to them, and tell you my story of working the 2002 Winter Olympic Games in Salt Lake City. That's what this jacket is from, if you can see the logo here. It's the coolest jacket. This is Salt Lake City logo for the ISB, International Sports Broadcasting Company. I'll tell you more about that. I will say, though, it was a lot of work. 14 days, 14-hour days, up and down slopes in the snow, but it was wonderful. And it was especially awesome because I was raised on the Olympics. They were not new for me. They were new working there, but my earliest Olympic memory, thanks to my mom having us watch things early on when I was just a little kid and explaining everything, was seeing Greg Louganis win gold in diving in 1984 at the LA Olympic Games. And then again in 1988, him hitting his head on the board and still managing to medal. And in 88 as well, we had the Calgary Winter Olympics. And that was when I realized how much I love the Winter Olympics specifically. Just all the cool stuff about it. I enjoyed the hockey, I enjoyed the bobsled, and also I had a huge crush on Ekaterina Gordieva and in pairs figure skating. And then, and also Katarina Witt wasn't too bad either. Even though I was still a kid, I just thought, wow, they were the most beautiful women in figure skating. And I thought, well, yeah, I'll figure skate if I get to skate with them. Then in 1992, 94, I just continued to grow in my love. And 94 was especially cool because that Lillehammer Olympics, we had all the Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan drama. And that, we watched every single instant of that. Everything we could get. And which is why I also say I finally watched the I, Tanya movie, and yeah, I gotta say, it really changes a lot of stuff very intentionally. It's a well-made but manipulative movie. I'll do a review here on WAKA. But anyway, I made this scrapbook when I was in high school, the Winter Games, because we did that. That was, we had all of the stuff, all those crazy stories going on. And my school was amazing because in our high school lunchroom, we had the Olympics playing there all during lunch. So you could catch up on highlights while you were eating lunch. But what was really amazing to me was getting to work the 2002 Olympic Winter Games. And as I said, I worked for ISB. And basically what I did was I was with the utilities. So I would help out with the audio video equipment all over the different venues. And it was... I didn't know what I was signing up for. It was awesome to be there on the slopes, at the rink, all the events, but you didn't realize you were going to be going up and down hills in the snow. I mean, it was cold. I was softened by Los Angeles, I think, from living, because I lived in LA for a year before going, and I think that I got softened in the climate. And then after like 14-hour days of doing this, it was still exciting. It was still amazing, though. We still had a blast, even though you were working your butt off. Because it was just cool to be there. We would go to the Olympic Village afterwards and see if people were there and chat, sometimes meet athletes. And then we'd go home and sleep. And what was funny was that we were staying in this kind of a lodge where we had like 14 guys all sleeping in sleeping bags on the floor, on the hard floor. And it did not matter that you were sleeping. And we did this for 2 whole weeks straight. It did not matter you were sleeping on a hard floor in your sleeping bag. You slept like a rock because your body was just so tired from all of that the day, even though you were, running, feeling high. And the other really crazy thing was, on the way back from like Olympic Village to where our cars were parked at the ISB headquarters, there was an Auntie Anne's pretzel stand that had outside that had a crazy deal. I don't remember if someone can verify how crazy this deal was. It was like $1.99 for a cinnamon pretzel and hot chocolate. Now you tell me, I don't care what your diet is or health, that after working all day in the snow, you wouldn't want that or just give in to that. I did it like I think 10 nights in a row on the way back, and it didn't disrupt my sleep at all. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm eating these every day. I'm going to gain so much weight on this trip. But no, I did not. As a fact, I lost weight, and I couldn't believe it. But I think it was because my body was just, trying to keep itself warm and working so much and everything every day that I wasn't even getting enough calories. And the 2002 Olympic Winter Games were wild, too, because there was scandals. Like, for example, this is when Jamie Salé and David Pelletier, I hope I'm pronouncing the names right, from Canada, the Canadian figure skating couple, got shafted on the gold because allegedly a French judge was paid off. It was a crazy scandal. Also, Apollo Anton Ono was really breaking out and doing awesome things and having, on-court strong ice skating battles with other athletes. And I got to be there for Sarah Hughes winning her gold medal in figure skating. So that was pretty incredible. And all that reminds me, here are the 5 sports I'm especially excited about seeing this Winter Olympics. Number 1, figure skating. Absolutely. To me, figure skating is one of the things that makes the Winter Olympics so cool. I think a lot of people feel that way. It's one of the most watched parts of it. Also, the bobsled. I especially love the 4-man bobsled, and I'm excited that the Jamaican bobsled team is back at the Olympics doing the 4-man again. Also, I love short track speed skating. I mean, this is like, it's so cool to have people skating all at the same time, weaving in and out of each other. It's pretty amazing. Anything can happen. Apollo Anton Ono, watching him was really what got me into short track speed skating. Now, in skiing, I like lots of things, but I especially love the ski cross. I mean, it's only been in the Olympics for a few Olympics now, but it is so much fun. It's like a movie. This is like the Road Warrior of skiing, where everyone's like skiing, all going down the hill at the same time, trying to cut each other off. They might crash and jump. Anything can happen. It's crazy. It's just so much fun. It's the most exciting, one of the most exciting things to watch. Also, I really do love watching hockey, especially when we get to the finals, to see the countries come down to the very end and who's gonna beat who. Incredible. Now, I have one last thing to mention, and this was something that someone asked me about, because I said that the Bee Gees always tie into the Olympics and Vegas for me. How is that? Well, I had to, it's not because the Bee Gees did one of the theme songs for the 88 Olympics, which they did, but it's because I had to drive from LA to Salt Lake City, and it was a long drive, and on the way back, I stayed in Vegas. I'd never been. So while I was driving, I brought with me this 2-disc set of the greatest Bee Gees hits. And I had, as some people know, just gone through one of the worst breakups. And the Bee Gees music was kind of comforting on that drive and kind of inspiring. And so I listened to it like crazy on that trip. And then as I went to Vegas, I listened to it there. And by the way, I hadn't been to Vegas yet. And I found out while I stayed there, I was only there for like 2 nights and maybe 3 days. I kind of wanted to check it out, And it was more cheesy and more wonderful than I could have imagined. I love Vegas. It was great. And so now, though, I always associate Vegas. When I go drive into Vegas, I think of the Bee Gees music and the Olympics. So it's amazing what we think about and what experiences drive us in that respect. Anyway, in my next video, I'll be back to reviewing films and TV and other cool topics. If you want to hear, though, get some Olympic laughs, I should say, I will post below a link to SoundCloud where back when WKAK was only audio, we got to do a really funny broadcast on the crazy slopes of the Sochi 2014 Winter Olympic Games, with my friend Bob Flougan, where you get to hear some really funny stuff, especially if you do not like it when newscasters harass someone who got a bronze medal on, why did you only get the bronze, or anything like that. You'll enjoy this, I hope. So check it out below. I'm Nathan. This is WAKA. If you like what you see and hear, please subscribe, and I will catch you all next time. And enjoy the Olympics.